The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network on RaceSpotTV.
To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfala into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press, sideways, what a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
It's RaceSpotTV. We're here once again from the Sonoma Raceway in California, one of our favorite tracks here for Monday Night Skippys. Hello, Rachel Whiteford. Joined alongside me is Will Vincent, and we're here for round number 7. We, of course, had our first race last week, Will, at Tsukuba. What a race that was, of course. Very new track to these guys, but this one is familiar ground. Familiar battleground, in fact, and we should be seeing an exciting race tonight.
Yeah, hello, Rachel. This is a track that actually, if you remember back, Rachel, used to be the 3 wide, 4 wide, every single corner racetrack at Sonoma, but it has calmed down a little bit over the past couple of seasons to what it is now, with changes, of course, to the iRacing service, so on and so forth. So this is going to be interesting to see just how close the driver is going to be here tonight.
Certainly is, and we're looking at our qualifying times right now. The driver's in the last few moments of that. In fact, the flag is out. Simon Edwards on pole at the moment for Heeman. Tom Ward right next to him. Claire Hughes, Ken Halliburton, Ben Daniels. So a lot of familiar faces and names, and we'll take a quick look at the points, Will. Because right now, they tell the story. Edwards and Antonides are separated by only 6 points. That's a handful of positions, and that could change very, very dramatically, of course. And, well, considering Edwards is a start ahead of Antonides, that's looking far more in favour of second place driver at the moment in points. Of course, Matt Cox, Ken Halliburton there, Clay Hughes, Ben Daniels, Alan Piercy, Anthony Catt, Clark Williams and Darrell Taylor, your top 10 there in points. It's really showing that we have a very open championship so far this season. With 3 or 4 rounds to go, I believe we're making the night to forget exactly that, and we'll have another points race to make up for it in week 13. But Monday Night Skippys certainly not letting up on the drama.
I'm sorry, Rachel, but when you consider the fact that they did the 24 hours a day tournament, which officially lasted 23 hours and 50 minutes, Fernando Alonso still got to win that one. So I think that whoever won, I think it was Claire Hughes who won it, he should keep that victory in the record books. But you're right. Edwards in pole position, about a tenth of a second faster than Fahim Antonides today. What we're going to see, in my opinion, is a shootout, but keep an eye out on the 09 car. Tom Ward, he's going to be the person, in my opinion, who's going to be putting his nose in at every opportunity.
Absolutely, and to borrow something from wrestling, Antonides and Tom Ward, Movano teammates, are the mismatched tag team. They're the two people forced together that have to work together, but are going to stab each other in the back the first opportunity they get. And with that, let's look at our starting positions. Simon Edwards on pole, 1 minute 44.825 tonight with a second place with Fahim Antonides. Only about a tenth back from him there, 100th even, I should say. Tom Ward in third place with Clay Hughes, Ken Halliburton, Ben Daniels, Bill Fraser, Jack Hobbs, Anthony Catt and Daniel J. Cook in 10th place. Clark Williams, Chris Malcolm, Matt Cox, Ewan Patterson, Christopher Keeble, 15th there, Sarah Savage, Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, Tom Barry, Darrell Taylor, the 10th place points driver, and Tony Stack in 20th. Rest of those positions on your screen as well. Our 1 second bracket here, a 45.8 is what we're looking for, and that comes around a lot quicker than normal. It's 13 places.
Yeah, but don't forget, Rachel, this is a very long racetrack, and it's also very easy to lose a lot of time around this racetrack. We're running the long layout here today at Sonoma International Raceway. Yeah, think outside of the oval, and that means you've got that very difficult section from turn 4 all the way through to about turn number 8, and then the S's to boot afterwards. And that means that these drivers really don't get a break, because the start-finish line, Rachel, also has a corner before the start-finish line and a corner right after it.
Yeah, it really does, and that will definitely make things very interesting. Our first corner here at Sonoma, very, very notorious. Not the first part, the second part, turn number 2, cresting that hill. I can't tell you, Will, the number of IndyCar races I've seen here where that has been a collection point, but it happens in pretty much every iRacing around here. We'll have to keep our eyes out. Yeah,
indeed. So, of course, IndyCar no longer going to Sonoma. They're going to the track in Nevada instead on the NTT Data IndyCar Series of 2019. That is going to be, of course, at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, or whatever it's called, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. But I will say,
California.
It is. I do love this track, though, Rachel, but you got to be really careful into turn 2.
Absolutely. Laguna Seca, fantastic for IndyCar, by the way. Nowhere near Nevada, so we'll go on with that one. It's actually...
is it California?
Malibu. Yeah, it's California. It's up above... I'm trying to remember the name now, but it is definitely California. Northern California, but California. Simon Edwards there, getting himself ready for the pole tonight. Race about to start in just a few moments' time now, as it's Monterey, California. I remembered it the last second.
That's
there,
the
Will.
one.
Monterey, California. And speaking of California, we're here in Sonoma, wine country, and the green flag flies on Monday Night Skippys, round number 7. All the shuffling, single filing here for that first corner. Nobody wants to be too wide through this line. Slows you down massively. Will cost them a lot of momentum. Up the hill they come. Through turn number 1. Bill Fraser forced out the line there. Runs wide. 2, 3 wide back in the pack. That's a really dangerous proposition for the guys, but they make it through. Only one car runs very wide. And oh, a big confluence at the rear of your field. Number of cars in collisions. Well, we're looking at Peter Cowan, who just makes it through there, but I'm looking most especially just behind him, Ethan Bass. Look at this. Huge mess as cars left, right, and centre.
Yeah, indeed. So, Rachel, as just having a look then through your field, and the top drivers just heading themselves now on the exit of what this is, the run towards turn number 7 on track. Yeah, the drag strip, Rachel, as on board for Atanides. And well, he's got Simon Edwards in his sights early here, but the thing that he's got to do now is try to hold it and get the momentum, and he can't do so early.
Absolutely, and his teammate there, Tom Ward, not going to miss opportunity here to stab him. This will be an opportunity for Ward to really make some spots. Tom Ward doesn't care about the championship points. He cares about winning the rounds he's in. So expect Fahim's need to beat Simon Edwards to come secondary to Tom's desires to win this race. We'll definitely see some exciting action amongst those drivers as this one goes forwards, but it's, of course, a fantastic track always for the Skip Barber Racing here at Sonoma. We never see a dull race. As up the inside goes Antonides into the final corner here. Turn 17 on this layout. Carries a good run into the corner, but doesn't have the momentum out of it. Leaves Edwards on the outside. Ward at a strong spot there in third. Coming across the line, it'll be first place exclusively back to Simon Edwards now. No overlap. Kink really gives the advantage there to driver on the outside wheel of the final corner, as behind them again sliding cars, not quite having the grip they'd want to have at this point of the race, but too wide there out of turn number 2. Tom Ward once again a major factor here. He is desperate, Will.
Yeah, he is. He's pushing his teammate Fahim Atanides through 3A, through 3B right now. And what I will say, Atanides has the advantage. Oh, they make contact. Tom Ward and Fahim Atanides making contact, and that really shuffles up that front part of your field.
See, this is what I said, that a mismatched tag team. These two need to work together, but find it very difficult to do so. Tom Ward is, if I might say so, the Randy Orton of Monday Night Skippies. He's out for himself.
Does he hear voices in his head?
He probably hears voices in his head, and he definitely slithers, and he will RKO anybody in his way. Yeah,
but he is, however, alongside Jack Hobbs right now in towards turn 7 and 7B. Right now, Tom Ward gets back up into P number 6. So he's moved himself back up, but he is now down 3 places from where he started, as he now works himself down through the S's section of this racetrack, and more side by side behind. This is Bill Fraser and Anthony Cat, Rachel.
Certainly is. Bill Fraser and Cat there, as you can see, 2 abreast behind. Actually, no, Bill Fraser's just ahead, actually, of that pair of cars that were side by side. It was Cat and Cook who were side by side there, with behind them Clark Williams, the Green Machine, coming in. I will say, though, a breath of fresh air for Fahim Antonides, running in second now, having to catch up to Simon Edwards, but I think we probably had a very flustered Fahim in that car up until that contact. In fact, after that contact as well, but now an opportunity to really go after Edwards without being fought for that second spot. Might be an opportunity for him to get ahead of him, and Edwards, we know, could also keep Tom Ward at bay, so that'll be useful. But just behind them there, Cox, along with Cat, still racing side by side through 2.
And it looks as though that
machine.
Yeah, it looks as though the Cat actually will have the outside line into 3A, and he has to drop back, Rachel, so he has to settle down back into that 10th position. Couldn't make anything work for turn number 1.
No, he certainly couldn't. There's a little bit of contact there, as I think that might have been Keeble, the purple car. I'm going to take a quick look and see if my car recognition skills are on point. I absolutely am right. It was Keeble. Slams into the back of Chris Malcolm, and, well, the car's yellow. I know he's not with the Epicure Banana team, but that banana got split.
Yep. Oh my word, Rachel. Yep, but right into the rear there of the 83 car. Christopher Keeble, he pushed wide as well. The good thing for Keeble is he didn't go 4 wheels onto the grass there down at turn number 4, because otherwise it is so difficult to get that car back onto the racetrack. A lucky break in many ways for Keeble, but we've got another driver down and in your field, and of course we've still got your battle going out up front, but Fahim Antonides is about half a second back right now from Simon Edwards.
Certainly is. I'm trying to work out where these cars are that we're dealing with right now, who are in the midst of that pack. I'm very much struggling to identify these machines. We had some 2-wide racing back there. It's single filed out now towards the end of the lap, but up towards the front. Opportunity here. Antonides right up there behind Edwards. And with Tom Ward trapped so far back in the field, Ward not making as much progress trying to get through those guys. Either he's got a little bit of damage here, Will, which I suspect if he had, he'd be pulling that car off the track already. But just down the order, not quite able to get himself as much momentum as he did before. Fahim now has the route to attack without having to defend. Closing in on the 52 of Edwards here for the lead. Who says Sonoma's not exciting for this series? Every race we get here, there is always some sort of drama, Will, some sort of excitement. in a fantastic race, and we're seeing that already.
We are. We saw also Nicholas Vaughan Roberts, by the way, down on pit road, had to get some repairs to his race car. He is pretty much done and dusted for the day. Live timing scoring, by the way, folks, is available at RaceSpotTV /timing as ever. But Rachel, Anthony Catt versus Matt Cox, that one is still going on. But also, Atanides has now closed back up to the rear of Simon Edwards. Now, if you're Atanides, is it going to be a case of waiting, or is it going to be a case of just going for it? He looks to the outside into 7.
No, it's not the outside he's going for. He's going for an undercut there as he tries to just go wider into the corner there than Edwards did. Edwards had to take a defensive line, not knowing where Atanides would go, but a very easy place to dive bomb. So if you don't defend that corner well, it's a likely spot to be passed. But Antonides using an opportunity to get a good run through the entry, but just couldn't quite find an opening as Edwards just parked at the apex. Nowhere for anyone to go as he's almost bump drafting him now into that very fast right-hander, almost flat to the Skippys. Clip that inside curb. A little bit of a lift at the throttle. You've got some room here as, look at this, Claire Hughes. Big dive by Daniels as well. That's not Daniels, it's Halliburton diving in there too. And Halliburton will come through, might get second place here, but the kink will probably help out Antonides. Give him that line back for second place. Halliburton goes for a wide run across the line now. Antonides will clock to second. Halliburton drops back in position here as this top 6 pack of cars all over each other. Edwards, Antonides, Halliburton, Hughes, Daniels and Ward. In fact, behind them, Jack Hobbs too involved in this group. We could call it a 7-pack. Yeah, the action's dialed up.
Yeah, we just see the replay there. Kane Halliburton alongside the driver of Fahim Atanides, Rachel. But Kane Halliburton, oh, he got a tag from the rear then. And that's Claire Hughes pushing him off track. So Halliburton down to 4th. And as Morrington is behind with Tom Ward and Ben Daniels. That's a mounting. That's what two horses do.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we should probably cut away from this, black screen it a bit, as we appear to have mating Skippies. I guess this is the natural environment they find to reproduce.
This wine country.
It might well be, maybe they've been on the wine, I think, at that point, but I think this is how you make go-karts, Will.
It is, and they went right through the sign as well, so had a nice little bit of scaffolding to go underneath. But Kane Halliburton, 4th place. I mean, he got pushed down into P4, Rachel, by Claire Hughes, but Hughes now has got tremendous damage to the front of that Benetton machine.
Oh, absolutely huge. No nose cone whatsoever. It's a very cold feet, but not in the racing sense, more in the actually has cold feet at the moment with nothing over them. Expect Halliburton to definitely have a good advantage here as the race lead. Antonides and Edwards very close here, but not really going to be a huge opportunity as that apex doesn't give an opportunity to pass. But it's putting Fahim in a great spot where there's no pressure on him right now. He's got a damaged car behind him immediately, which means it'll take time for the likes of Halliburton to get past. But of course, Fahim going to bide his time, find an opportunity here, wait for the right moment, and should be able to make something work here. Edwards, of course, points leader. Not there by accident. He's a very fast driver. Has every ability to hold off Antonides here. Expected to see a titanic battle with these two. Of course, Ward has retired the car after that incident. So our new running order, of course, for that top 10 is Edwards, Antonides, Hughes, Halliburton, Fraser up to 5th place here. Hobbs, Cox, Catt, Williams and Patterson there. Ewan Patterson up into the 10th spot from 14th. Some big movers and shakers so far. We've got the likes here, of course, of 37th to 24th, Ethan Bass in the 21 car. He's definitely been moving. So's the guy behind him, Jonathan Sheen, started 41st in the 43 car. He's in 25th place. Patterson is up 4 spots there, 14th to 10th, 30th to 7th, Matt Cox. And we've also got 21st to 13th, Anthony Jones. So our drivers definitely getting their move on in this field. Daniel Tufts, better not miss him out. He's up 9 spots, 25th to 16th, Will.
Yeah, as Kane Halliburton works himself back up into 3rd place, getting past Claire Hughes. And if there's one track, Rachel, where you really do need to have a bit of aerodynamic grip, it is a track like Sonoma. And Claire Hughes struggling. He's lost himself already. 2 seconds to that lead battle behind. Jack Hobbs and Bill Fraser are still going at it. And one thing I do note, Rachel, is that we've had 4 drivers, 5 drivers, 6 drivers out of this event already. But out front, your top 2 have now got themselves a lead, a 1.5 over Kane Halliburton. That is, do we work together for a few laps kind of territory.
With a 2-second gap, I think it would be prudent to work together. There's no point passing now, because if Fahim could pass Edwards, Edwards could pass him back. So run together, run fast, deal with some of the lap traffic coming up ahead of them, make a gap there on Halliburton and Hughes. Halliburton inevitably has passed clear Hughes. His car isn't a open front, never mind open top race car. So he's definitely got the better position to make that time, but run together, make a good gap now, because obviously Hughes will not be able to stay with Halliburton, so he'll be running on his own, and the draft being so important, that's going to matter hugely. So Edwards and Antonides run together, 14 laps in the race, we're halfway through. They could race on like this for another 5-6 laps before they have to make any sort of action.
They could do. So we're running on board of Darrell Taylor. He's outside of your top 10, Rachel, but battling out with Tom Barry right now. And the thing about this racetrack that I like as well is that these drivers do have battles up and down the field more than we normally see on Monday Night Skippies, because for some drivers, Rachel, it can be a bit of a boring run. Not saying Monday Night Skippies is, of course, boring. It's not. But if you're in the mid-pack, sometimes you end up in a gap by yourself and you have no one to race with. But almost everyone is in some form of battle right now. Daniel Tufts and Daniel Cook going side by side through the S's.
Yeah, they certainly are, and Daniel Cook doing a great job at the moment. Running back here in 17th place, started, 3 wide contact. Problems there. Kelsey, I think that was, that went through behind him. They're trying to identify that car number. It's in the middle there. Number 2 car of Kelsey just gets hooked up on the side of Cook, and well, he overcooked the move, I think, there, and he ends up spinning himself out. Nobody else involved. Looks like it could have been bigger, Will, but they got away lucky there. Yeah,
they did, because that could have been a multi-car incident. Ends up just being Kelsey turned around down at the S's section of the racetrack. Wow, Rachel, that was close.
Oh, super close. Super close, but it's still close here between Cook and Tufts, the 34 machine up ahead of him. You think it'll be tough for Cook to pass?
Oh, Rachel, you can't say that.
Do you think Cook can find the recipe to pass the tough car ahead? I'm sorry, I'll get my coats. This is over now.
Yeah.
Up the inside he goes. The instant easy bake option, apparently, for Cook. But it's not going to work now. He's stuck on the outside now for the next corner, which will give the advantage back to Tuff. Through the carousel, descending down now onto the drag strip here at Sonoma. Sonoma, very popular for the NHRA drag racing events, of course. But Tufts gets a bad exit out the corner, so it could be an advantage here to Cook. Can Cook use the overspeed to make a run here? He's up the inside into this big, wide double apex right. Has the line on the inside. Second part will give it to him if he can secure the move. Clears Tuff. Nice move there by Daniel Cook.
Yeah, fantastic move. We also had behind Peter Cohen going side by side with Barry West. Nothing really happened with that one. Simon Edwards is out of the motor race. Rachel, Simon Edwards has somehow had an incident. We're looking at the replay right now as Simon Edwards, he makes contact with Fahim. Fahim is out. Edwards is out. Your top 3 are out. Kane Halliburton leads this motor race.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say here. In fact, looking back at the replay, no, Halliburton's probably going to be damaged too. He smashed into Fahim Antonides there.
Well, the guy behind, Claire Hughes, don't forget, is damaged as well. So now it's going to be a case of 2 drivers with damage. Who's got the most, Rachel?
Well, no, he might have gotten lucky, because looking at his car, it looks perfect. So I suspect the desync fairy was a proponent to this little altercation, because Halliburton's car looks phenomenal. But oh my gosh, side by side there into that kink with Edwards and Antonides. Conflict ending in them both going off. Massive problems there as Antonides gets flung into the sky by Halliburton's car and it's sliced into the side. But right now, of course, it looks like Hughes has found something here. He might have cold toes, but is definitely hot on pursuit now of Kane Halliburton.
Well, Rachel, we talked about his performance, of course, at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course at night. I can't believe I'm still saying that. But he's looking to do something here in pure daylight at Sonoma Raceway. Through the S's he comes right now. Through the right, it's not the IndyCar layout, so you don't have that horrible chicane in the middle of it. Claire Hughes, he's got a good run. If he can keep momentum through here, he can have a run down into the hairpin, but he's not going to be close enough.
No, not even close at the moment. He's going to try, but no cigar for the moment, as behind him we're looking like a really good opportunity for Bill Fraser to get a win this season. Bill has not had the best of times, of course, the former champion. They're catching up. The train involving Fraser, Hobbs, Cox, Cat, and well, far behind them Williams, so that 4 there. They're getting closer and closer now to Halliburton and Hughes, so we could be seeing a change for the lead now. Possibly even a change for the whole podium now, as these guys all smell blood in the water. This has completely changed our race. Sonoma once again not failing to entertain. A dramatic twist here, of course. It was lap number 8. We saw that happen between Edwards and Antonides. Wow, just the top 3 contenders are expected winners, including Ward. Boom, gone.
But Rachel, the thing for Bill Fraser is that last time by he was 4 tenths of a second slower than your leading duo. Jack Hobbs right now is all over the rear of Bill Fraser, and Jack Hobbs is thinking, if I can get past, if I can get clear, I can get myself to the front of the field. There's 5 laps to go. You see a battle going on between Claire Hughes and Clayne Halliburton, but actually it's not too far back to Hobbs, who's looking down to the inside, Rachel, of Bill Fraser, and it looks as though he might get that move.
Yeah, certainly does, and Hobbs looking very hungry at the moment. He's got in that position for now. Could Hobbs be the car to lead this group forwards towards the 2 runaway now first and second place cars of Halliburton and Hughes? The gap's 2.5 seconds. It's a big gap, but there's 4 or 5 laps still to go, Will. 4 laps as they cross the line this time by. Can it be done?
Yeah, as Jack Hobbs, look at that. He just closes right up to the rear of, right past the rear of Bill Fraser. Jack Hobbs looking to try now and pull out that advantage. It is 3.1 seconds though, Rachel, to Claire Hughes and Clayne Halliburton. So what I said earlier about Antonides and Edwards, it remains true again, but only this time does Claire Hughes make his move now, or does he try and wait until the final lap of the motor race, if indeed he has anything? Because Hughes and Halliburton, if they can just keep it steady for the next 2.5 laps, then they will have the opportunity to fight at the end.
Yeah, they certainly will, and that would be a great chance for them there to, of course, have an impact on this one. I'd love to see them catch up in time for that. It would be a fantastic race here, but good chance here for points as well for Hughes and Halliburton. Those two, well deserving of great race finishes, of course, and this is their opportunity to have that. Can Claire Hughes, though, with a damaged race car, catch up to Halliburton? I can only think, as they weren't close before, there is still some damage we can't see on Clayne Halliburton's machine, because he was outstripping Hughes before, and now Hughes holding with him.
Yeah, but Fraser, he lost a lot of time for the end of the first sector, but then Jack Hobbs lost a lot of time for the middle of the second sector. We're on board with Bill Fraser right now, and Bill Fraser now has Matt Cox for company as they come out the exit of that double apex right-hander, the double hairpin at 7. And what this means, Rachel, is actually now Jack Hobbs et al. Are losing time to Claire Hughes and Clayne Halliburton, and Hobbs and company have to really now stop fighting and start pushing forward.
Yeah, they certainly do, and that's one thing they have to get through their heads as a group, is to work together, is to succeed in this event here. Look behind them, the likes of Clark Williams, Ewan Patterson catching up. Patterson, of course, the winner of the battle in the blackness, has got a bent up rear wing. Has he got a chance to get involved in this thing tonight? That would be a huge chance for him there. An absolutely huge opportunity, but this is all going to be down to what Hobbs, Fraser, Cox and Cat do. Should we call them the scrappy midfielders of the Monday Night Skippies? These guys always up for a good fight, but no one really the shot caller in this whole thing. They just seem to all be going at it because they enjoy racing, rather than thinking, hey, those guys up the road, we could catch them. But I don't think right now they can, because even Claire Hughes, a damaged car, has gained another 1.5 seconds on them.
Yeah, but do you remember that last time we went to that time we went to Watkins Glen, and your top 2, top 3, top 4 drivers all had incidents on the last lap, Rachel? It's not about necessarily how close you are coming into the final lap, it's how clean a run you have for that final lap. Ewan Patterson, of course, is a negotiator of magic ever since winning that race at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. He is running in P number 8 onto the drag strip again, as there's lots of battling going on ahead of him, Anthony Catt and Matt Cox. But Ewan Patterson, I always think he's deliberately holding back a little bit.
Yeah, I think he might well be. I don't think he needs to go much further right now. It's almost as though this is a position he's happy to be in, will be enough for him. And it's always one of my golden rules of racing that I always held to. Well, why go faster than you have to? If there's nothing to gain, you perceive, don't run at full power, because going at full power will put you in a situation either you're not comfortable with, or you'll burn up your tyres as fast as the guy behind you. Go as fast as you need to go. There's been plenty of times where I've had a guy behind me who's been right on the bumper, but I've kept the gap at a second because, hey, if they're burning up their stuff to stay this close to me, and I'm not going as fast as I can go, I'm going to have something in the bank, and they're not.
Precisely. They say to finish first. First you have to finish. It doesn't matter where you finish. You've got to finish the race first. And that is keeping your car within your means. As Bill Fraser is right behind Jack Hobbs. He looks a little bit down to the inside through turn number 2. Can't do so, Rachel, with a lap and 3/4 to go. But now, drivers like Bill Fraser, who are fantastic on the final laps of these motor races, Bill Fraser's thinking, okay, I need to be in position now, because 4.4 seconds up the road, Halliburton and Hughes are almost certainly going to have a fight.
I think that's exactly why Jack Hobbs kind of was happy to defend his position right now, because I think he saw that gap was unattainable. As wow, look at that, Bill Fraser went wide, lets the car of Matt Cox through, but looks like he's going to go for the crossover. This is that midfield scrapping we talked about. They're not really working as a unit to gain time here. They're just fighting because they enjoy fighting. As now also through comes Anthony Katz, so maybe Bill Fraser having to save fuel, possibly. Did he put the wrong amount in? As a boom, an engine goes!
Bum, bum, bum. It's time to blow an engine.
866 Matt Cox has blown his motor there on what's going to be the penultimate lap of this motor race. Sad end for him. That's one competitor out of the mix now, making this a foursome again after the fivesome. Is that even a thing? Quintuplet is the word we'll go for, I think.
Yes.
As Clark Williams joining the fight as well. Ewan Patterson behind them, so it was a sextuplet. It's now a syncuplet. Probably butchering that.
Pentakill.
A
To take it from another game. Pentakill. As Matt Cox's engine has just disappeared, but the white flag's out, Rachel. There is one more lap to go.
One more to go indeed, and look at this now. Here comes Claire Hughes with no nose cone on his race car. To the outside on Kane Halliburton. The battle intensifies now at the front of your field. Here we go. This is what we were looking for. 2 by 2 now through the first sector of the lap here at Sonoma. And look at this, the guy with bare contact. Oh, big contact there. Claire Hughes, damaged race car. Halliburton has to be damaged now as well, unless his car is made of unobtainium or vibranium or whatever it is that they use in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. TM, please don't copy strikers. But either way, Kane Halliburton doing a fantastic job of somehow managing to evade any damage whatsoever to his race car, Will. And looks like he's just going to take this one now. No contest. Looked like we had a great battle brewing. And boom.
Before you know it, it was all over, and the gap is 4 seconds. So Kane Halliburton looks as though he has got that one. Rachel, I did want to just almost start singing, there's hydrogen and helium and lithium beryllium, but I'm not going to do the rest.
Yeah, the periodic song is a fantastic one, which we'll come back to later. Perhaps Will can sing it on a future episode. But for now, Kane Halliburton's going to come home to a very, very casual victory after what was looking like a very exciting last lap there. Claire Hughes did an oopsie and has now dropped back considerably. He is still, I believe, going to be running. Well, no, he's running now back in about 7th place behind Ewan Patterson. 2nd place is going to be Hobbs. The careful approach has definitely weighed well for him. And Anthony Katz going to get 3rd place here as they come through the final corner. Kane Halliburton going to come across the line here to win round number 7 at Sonoma Raceway, California. Claire Hughes will not come 2nd. Jack Hobbs, followed by Anthony Katz, 2nd and 3rd place there. Clark Williams and Bill Fraser just behind that group. What a race, Will, and some big oopsies from a big number of drivers.
Well, this one might have been a little bit more controversial than Mid-Ohio, Rachel, but Kane Halliburton does get the victory. He gets it well over the driver of Claire Hughes. I want to see another look at this one if we have the opportunity.
Let's do it.
This is Kane Halliburton. Oh, that's the back end of the incident. So let's just rewind that a little bit further. And for Claire Hughes, it all started on that run down in towards turn number 1. So Claire Hughes goes down to the outside, in towards that first corner, Rachel. We're going to pause the tape here, change the angle. You can see that actually Claire Hughes is alongside at this point. We're going to play the tape again here, and it's just as they come out of the corner, Hughes is still on the inside line for turn 3A and 3B. They come into it now. Hughes holds the inside line, but then actually he just dances a little bit across the track and pushes a little bit out into Kane Halliburton. Halliburton didn't really recognise the fact he was there. Halliburton gets the victory.
Yeah, I kind of got to agree with you there, Will. That one was definitely just an oversight of error with the driver who was unsighted perhaps on the guy behind him. Just briefly, he might have just been in a blind spot there actually, considering where the mirror is, and just moves his line a tiny little bit, and it just closed that door where there was a foot already in it, and it cost him. So wow, what a finish. We'll go to your post-race results. Ken Halliburton with a victory tonight after a very oopsie-filled event here at Sonoma. Jack Hobbs in second with Anthony Catt in third. Bill Fraser fourth place at the end of things with Clark Williams rounding out your top 5. Claire Hughes, Ewan Patterson, Tom Barry, Darrell Taylor and Anthony Jones in 10th place with Daniel Cook, Tony Stack, Christopher Keeble, Adrian Hendy, Dave Kirkman in 15th place, Kieran O'Flynn, Daniel Tufts, Jonathan Sheen and Peter Cowan with Ethan Bass in 20th. The rest of those positions on your screen as well. We had a very busy one here today.
We did. It was a fun one again though, Rachel, at Sonoma Raceway. It is one of those tracks that has been a staple of the Club UK&I and Monday Night Skippy season for so long, and once again it pulls out the goods.
Yeah, absolutely does. Monday Night Skippies never fails to excite us, and honestly, this track, Sonoma, it's one of those tracks where we go to, we know we're going to get a fantastic race. And speaking of which, Barry West started 28th, came home in 21st tonight, just outside that top 20. Barry, hey, lead lap finish, good result tonight.
Barry!
Do we have a Barry West?
Barry!
Will's screaming for Barry. I apologise to your eardrums, ladies and gentlemen, but we may have to come back and get to Barry. And oh, we have a Barry now. Yeah, we're about to move on and he comes back. That's awkward, but good race tonight, Barry.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it's this track. I don't know what it is, but it just provides really good racing. And there was about 4 of us all through the race. And I was a little bit too hesitant at the beginning. I could have made a couple of places up, but I just better to finish and not. So yeah, it was really good racing.
Certainly an approach to take, of course, and 21st out of a field this size. Certainly nothing to sniff at, of course. 44 drivers overall. And, well, you and Darrell Taylor seem to be the only bananas representing these days. So what's happening?
Sorry, I think we've calmed down a little bit, really, and probably racecraft is overtaking the brain rather than the hands, are doing what the brain's telling it. I'm not just reacting to situations. I mean, it's a long race, so that was pretty hairy the first few laps, but it was good results lately. I mean, I'm really enjoying it.
Certainly fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, Barry. And I think that might be everybody we have tonight, Will, to talk to. So, final thoughts? Do we have a Will Vincent now, or has he gone away too?
I'm still here. Let's have Sonoma every single season, Rachel. I love coming to this place. It is wine country. Some drivers get a little bit tipsy out on track, but the racing is always good.
Absolutely. And with that, we will leave you. Join us, of course, same time next week for more Monday Night Skippies. We'll see you then.